All right, welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling an emotion that feels pretty universal, often heavy: anger.
Yep, anger. And we're digging into an article called Letting Go of Anger for Inner Peace. Some powerful ideas in there.
Right. And our mission, really, for this deep dive is to unpack what this source is saying.
Yeah.
Understand anger, how to release it.
And pull out those key insights, the stuff that actually, might make a difference for you.
Exactly, because the article gets right to it. Yeah, anger can feel like power for a second,
Mm-hmm.
but holding on to it long term,
Mm-hmm.
it's really just hurting yourself.
There's that amazing analogy it uses, often linked to the Buddha.
Oh, the hot coal one. Yeah.
Right. Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else.
You are the one who gets burned. It really lands, that image.
It's so visceral, isn't it? The damage is primarily internal, scorching you, clouding things.
Draining your energy. And look,
Mhm.
anger itself, it's natural. We all feel it.
Totally. The article mentions common triggers: feeling betrayed, seeing injustice.
Disappointment, yeah. And when it flares up, you get that rush, that feeling of being right, maybe.
A sort of temporary sense of control, maybe. But the article warns, if it sticks around,
If it becomes chronic.
right, then it turns into this immense weight just dragging you down constantly.
It becomes unbearable over time, it says.
Hmm.
And the costs aren't just, feeling bad.
No, not at all. The article is really clear about the knock-on effects.
What is the list?
Well, it poisons Jay, for one, really erodes relationships, and the physical impact is significant.
Physical. Like what?
Specifically mentions things like raising blood pressure, messing with your sleep,
Oh, wow.
and even weakening your immune system. So it's hitting you mind and body.
Okay, so if it's so bad for us, why do we hang on to it so tightly sometimes?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The article explores some psychological reasons, and they're pretty insightful.
What does it suggest?
Well, sometimes there's this deep belief that the anger is justified, like completely warranted.
And holding on to it feels like strength. Or maybe protection.
Exactly. Like it's the right response, the only one that makes sense.
Or maybe that fear. The fear that letting go means the other person sort of gets away with it.
Yes, that's a big one. Letting them off the hook, as people say.
As if forgiving means you're saying what happened was okay.
And that's where the article makes a really crucial point. Letting go does not mean erasing the past.
The event still happened, the hurt was real.
Absolutely. But letting go does mean making an active choice.
A choice about what?
Choosing not to let the pain from back then keep controlling your life now, your present.
Okay, that makes sense. And the article says this isn't like flipping a switch, right?
No, definitely not. It frames it as a journey, a process.
Which feels more realistic.
Yeah.
So where does that journey start, according to the source? Step 1,
Awareness. That's the foundation.
awareness.
Huh.
So just noticing the anger.
Noticing it, recognizing it when it shows up, but without immediately judging yourself for feeling it.
Okay. Not pretending it's not there.
Right. The article actually encourages you to sit with it, feel it, let it surface so you can understand where it's really coming from.
So digging a bit deeper, asking yourself, like, what's really bugging me here?
Yeah,
What's the actual hurt underneath?
precisely. Because often the article points out anger is kind of a protective layer.
A mask?
Yeah, a mask for stuff like sadness or fear or feeling powerless, maybe.
Ah, okay. So naming that deeper thing, the real source of the pain, that brings clarity.
Emotional clarity. Exactly.
Okay, so you become aware, you understand the roots. What's next in the process described?
This is often the toughest part, it says. Actively releasing the anger.
Releasing it. And this is where forgiveness comes in.
This is where forgiveness enters the picture, yes. But the article is very specific about what it means.
How does it define it? Because people have strong feelings about that word.
Totally. It makes it super clear. Forgiveness is not mainly for the other person's benefit.
It's not.
Not primarily. It's described really powerfully as a gift you give to yourself.
A gift to yourself. How so?
It's like the key, the key that unlocks the chains of resentment that are holding you prisoner.
Okay, I like that image. Chains of resentment.
And the source is firm. Forgiving doesn't mean you have to forget. It doesn't mean you condone injustice.
It just means choosing peace
Ugh.
over staying in pain.
That's it, exactly. Choosing peace over pain. Because think about it, staying angry keeps you emotionally tethered to that person or situation.
Right. You're still connecting through the anger.
Yeah. Releasing the anger, which is linked here to forgiveness, breaks that specific bond. You get free.
That reframing is, yeah, That's powerful.
Yeah.
Self-liberation.
And it's not just mental work either. The article talks about the body.
The mind-body connection. Taking care of the physical self in this.
Yes, because emotions aren't just thoughts. They live in our bodies too, right?
Sure. You feel anger physically. Tension, heat.
Totally. So the article recommends practices, things like deep breathing, maybe yoga, meditation.
Or just going for a walk outside.
Yeah, walk in nature. Things that help release that physical tension and kind of balance out your nervous system.
And exercise gets a mention too, right? Moving your body.
Definitely. Movement, exercise, great for flushing out those stress hormones. Adrenaline, cortisol, the stuff that builds up with anger.
It's like physically moving the stuck energy.
You got it. And then there's talking about it, giving voice to it.
Who does it suggest talking to?
Someone you trust, really trust. A good friend, maybe a counselor, a spiritual guide.
Somewhere safe.
The safe space, exactly. Sharing your story there helps it lose some of its power over you.
So processing it through sharing, instead of just letting it spin around in your head.
Right. Recycling it internally versus actually processing it. Big difference.
And it's important to say, like the article emphasizes, this isn't about becoming a doormat.
Not at all. Letting go of anger doesn't mean becoming passive or just accepting bad treatment.
Or ignoring injustice in the world.
Far from it. It's more about doing that inner work first, reclaiming your own peace.
So you can act from a different place.
So you can choose to respond to things from calm strength, not just react out of rage.
Respond versus react. That's a key distinction.
Huge. And the article says acting from that centered place, maybe setting a boundary, taking clear action, or even deciding to walk away, that is the real victory.
Not the explosion of rage, but the considered response.
Exactly. And it acknowledges, this is a journey. There will be setbacks.
Not linear.
Not at all. But every effort you make, every time you try to choose awareness or release, it invites more light in, it says.
Creates space inside.
Space for compassion, for joy, for real emotional freedom.
And there's that powerful truth it leaves us with. You're not responsible for what others do.
Their choices, their actions that might hurt you, not your responsibility.
But you are responsible for.
Yeah. For taking care of your own heart. That's your job, your sacred task almost.
And within that self-care, the article talks about peace.
Yeah, it calls it a sacred truth. Peace isn't something the world gives you or takes away.
It's not external.
It's internal. Something you grow, you cultivate inside yourself, one breath at a time.
So wrapping up this deep dive, the core message seems pretty clear. Letting go of anger.
Yes.
It's hard work.
Definitely challenging, but essential.
And it's not for them. It's for you. A gift you give yourself for your own peace.
Couldn't say it better. It's about your well-being.
Okay, so if peace really is something grown internally, like the article suggests, nurtured breath by breath, here's something to think about. What's one small, maybe tiny, intentional step you could take today, maybe right after this, to nurture that inner peace? Especially if, something irritating or frustrating pops up.